Hello, beautiful patrons. How are we? And yes, very, very cool. Hey, I can just see the bowl still over there, so I'm going to move that. Excellent. All right, you guys, really cool to connect with you over here. And yes, just sort of seeing your comments and everything leading into this. So Dave mentioning about, people not having Facebook. Really good point, Dave, because, not everybody is into that. And I think sort of people are being turned off Facebook a little bit at the moment. So very cool, to kind of connect with other forms. And so Slack, I've never even heard of Slack. I have to look that up. Slack channel. Interesting. So hey, Mark, Alexi, Dave, and Lothar seems like who we have here at the moment. All good, beautiful people. And excellent. So hey, and Indies is back again. All good. Excellent. Good to see you guys. So I'm not too sure about Slack. I haven't heard of anything about that actually, Dave. So it'd be very cool to check that one out. Yes, and it does sound like a great idea. Love it. Thank you for thinking of that. And we do. Alexi says, I'm an experimenter and it's beautiful. That's great. Thank you, Alexi. Yes, definitely always experimenting, always sort of trying out different things over here and, always looking at ways to grow kind of, the channel or the live streams and different things. So I do feel really good actually about, just making the live stream with the music channel more focused on the music and the dance and that kind of thing. I really feel really strongly about that. And that has been some advice that's been given to me, which I take on board as well to kind of hone that in that direction, and then to branch out with the other, which obviously we get to discuss sort of whatever we like over here, and then go into the topics even more so very, very cool. Excellent. And yes, Indies doesn't have Facebook exactly, so it's a valid point. A lot of people don't go for Facebook, like pretty much most people like YouTube, and YouTube just doesn't have quite the invasive nature of Facebook, and doesn't really, people are becoming more aware of that. And I do find that I don't tend to use it very much now. Like I use it for my page and for posting, and it's a great point of contact for industrial dancers and the projects and that kind of thing. I use it pretty much for that, like my industrial dance video projects group and my page, and even my personal page. I don't really give much energy to it anymore, because it's just kind of like, I'd rather be spending my time on YouTube and putting energy in here and developing content and that kind of thing. So that seems to be where my focus is. And Dave says on it for several groups from the Weather Lab has one. You can set up several channels too. Okay, interesting. I have to have a look. Yes, slack.com. Very good. Thanks, Dave. I'll have a look at that. You never know. I think I sort of, if you're talking about, setting up a fan page kind of thing, that sounds really cool. I'm open to ideas always on these things, because, it's something that I hadn't heard of. Very cool. All right. So you guys, very, very inspired to kind of share a little bit more on the gratitude kind of subject that, with the tip of the week turning into topic of the week over here. But really talking about how to create your day. As I was saying, this was something that I've been experimenting with really in the last, I don't know, maybe few weeks, really, like more extensively than I have before, really actually doing this exercise daily. And it's been really, really interesting, like talking about gratitude and the importance of it. But what I want to emphasize is just how creative it makes you. So when we're talking about how to create your day, it's really that understanding of being in that space of gratitude when you start out your day, because it's a very phenomenal thing, when you're in a space of love that is the ultimate creative space. Love is the only truth. All else is illusion. So when you're in alignment with love and gratitude, you're in alignment with creation. You're in alignment with universal creative energy. And so your thoughts, your words, your visions impact the quantum field around you. There's a different level of energy that is applied and amplified to whatever it is that you're giving your energy to when you're in that space. So it's a really interesting one to experiment with and to play with, because just even obviously the practice of putting yourself into a grateful space first thing in the day, and setting some intentions for your day, that obviously is putting you into a different space already, and you're going to be sort of operating at a higher level of vibration and that kind of thing. And as we've talked about before, when you're in a space of gratitude, you're opening up the higher brain centers. You're getting into higher level of brain function. You're also opening the heart, and you're creating from a space of love. So those are the essential ingredients to create and have your thoughts manifest, because the pineal gland is like your creative center to the brain, and that is where it's almost like the broadcast receive of your thoughts and your visions and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's all about putting yourself into that space of gratitude, then setting some intentions and creations for the day. But you can take this further as well, take it to the next week, the next month, the next years, so the exact sort of recipe that I've been shown and how I've sort of tweaked it a little bit to what works for me. But it's really about that idea of using your phone as a voice recorder and getting into that space of gratitude first and foremost. That is like number one, get into that space of gratitude. So just saying out loud, what you're grateful for. And I usually find that the things that resonate the strongest and the things that actually really get you into that space is when you're talking about the people that you love, and talking about the people who really make an impact on your life that you really are grateful for, and just thinking of them in that context. It's like your heart naturally opens, it's something, and keep going till you really feel that sort of heart openness and that gratitude. And then when you've gotten to that space, it's moving on. Okay, so my intentions and my thoughts to, create for today, my intentions for today are this. And then I start talking in the past tense and saying, today was amazing because I was really grateful for such and such that happened, and people were working really closely together as a team around me at work and that sort of thing. And yes, just really honing in on the details as much as you choose to, and giving specific vision and specific creation to whatever it is that you want to create for the day. And that intention, when set in a space of gratitude, is really, really powerful. Exactly. And Lothar says, yes, it's really true. You work better if you work with loving what you do. Absolutely. And so if you bring love into whatever you're doing, you're going to get the best sort of possible results there. And I've got to tell you, like a really interesting example of this was at my work only last week, where there's to give you an idea as well, I work my sort of day job kind of thing is I sort of supervise events in a resort. So it's big dinners, big things going on there, like quite big events. So my day job keeps me pretty busy, and there's quite a lot of responsibility with it too when you're dealing with big events and that kind of thing. But I had set an intention going in. I knew there was a big dinner, over 210 people coming to this thing. It was like, a lot of money for the business and the company and kind of thing, but quite a lot of emphasis on this thing. And I had going to work, setting the intention, going, all right, I feel that this is going to, like, and obviously putting it into the past tense, saying, wow, today was really great. Everything flowed really smoothly. I'm so grateful that the management really worked hand in hand. There was a lot of teamwork, a lot of helping each other out, because sometimes when there's big events and big stressful things on, people can start butting heads and people can start getting quite stressful and then running around and too many chiefs and that kind of thing. So I was setting the intention that everything flowed smoothly and people were really working well together as a team, and that the details and things flowed on, very well, and the staff did a great job, and, they made things flow very smoothly and all of that. And it was interesting, right? And I really emphasized the word teamwork with this particular day. So the interesting thing is, things are always going to happen that are out of your control. You're setting intentions for how you want it to unfold or what you want the end result to kind of be, but you can't possibly know how that's actually going to happen. The how will take care of itself, and that will always be something that you won't necessarily expect. But the interesting thing was, in this particular case, that when I got to work, I'd found out that this whole outdoor dinner that had been totally organised, and they decided to move it all inside. 210 people, okay, not set. Rooms all needed to be turned, massive furniture removal, massive amount of things needed to be rearranged in order to make that happen. And we had staff there the day before to do all of this stuff, but no, let's decide on the day we're going to move the whole thing, and we also have 1 hour to do it. 1 hour. Okay, so you go, well, that's pretty that's a pretty good recipe for stress right there, to go, okay, now you've made this really, really difficult. This is like general manager going, no, we have to move it, because they were concerned about rain and body corporate issues and all sorts of other politics. But the thing is, it had to move. Couldn't do anything about that. Had to be done. But it was the way that it then unfolded that really, really followed the intentions that I'd set. So it was really, really interesting. Hey Facundo, good to see you. Just sharing a bit of a story on setting intentions, creating your day, and how it sort of applied to me in this last week. It's been quite interesting. But basically, like, the food and beverage manager came to me and we mapped out a plan together that would actually work. And I went, wow, this is teamwork that hasn't really happened quite like this before. Okay, so again, it was like, oh, there's some really good teamwork here. I had the events manager running around, getting signage, doing things, like extra things that might not always necessarily happen there. And it was just brilliant to watch the teamwork playing out that I'd intended. And even, right, when all of it came together, I mean, it was a massive effort, massive turnaround in an hour to make all of this happen. We're talking about taking 3 rooms, taking walls out, all the furniture out, new furniture all in, managing about 12 to 15 staff to make it happen. And trying to coordinate a really, really large room set into a space, and it was very, very crowded and that kind of thing anyway, and trying to manage all the staff doing it. So having all hands on deck, and having not only a food and beverage manager actually coming and helping out with planning and the layout of the room and that kind of thing, but at the very end, when it was all done and all sorted, he actually said to me, great teamwork. And I was like, there you go. Love it. Set the intention. Massive big thing happened that you just couldn't have predicted and could easily have become really, really stressful. And there were points where it was challenging and, having to move things along. But amazing, right? Just setting that intention, things flowing smoothly, and the whole night flowed smoothly from there and worked really well. So again, it just comes back to, I think, understanding that your intentions when set in a creative space amplify so strongly that you can't quite predict how it's going to happen, but it will definitely manifest. And very, very interesting. I noticed when I set the intentions for, what I want to do with my day, and when I get home, this particular thing flows and this gets done, and it definitely sets an intention, and you kind of follow it. You really, it sets you in a position to be in the right energy space to then take action on those things. So Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. You know, if there's a day that I miss it, then I kind of notice and things just don't quite flow the same as when you've been in that creative space and setting that intention for the day. And even doing like the exercises for the future is really, really interesting. I did an exercise, basically, as I said, you know, using your phone as a voice recorder and recording and just saying exactly what you're grateful for in the future in the past tense. So I'm saying, you know, and I have this vision of like a dream house, right, that I would love to move into sometime in the future. It's not that far from here. I know exactly where it is. I know, you know, I've like studied the, you know, you look on the real estate pages and look through it on the inside and go, oh, I love this house. And, you know, I can see myself like live streaming from there, and it's got a beautiful view and that kind of thing. And I have that vision very, very strongly. And I was talking about it one day driving in the car, going, you know, I'm so grateful today for, you know, signing the contract to actually purchase this house. And, you know, today is the day that I actually move in. And gone, wow. And I really felt that, you know, in my heart. I felt like, oh, I felt teary at the actual, it was like I was there in the moment of actually creating that in the future, talking in the past tense. Just, it was a really phenomenal thing. And I go, wow, I really, really engaged with that and felt it. You know, I've held visions of it, but there's something different connected just by articulating it, just by saying it out loud, putting it into words and putting it out there, you know, it's almost like just by saying something out loud, it's like you put it into form. You've made it come into the physical world just by giving it sound. There's an interesting you know, manifestation around that for sure. And yeah, I think it's a beautiful exercise to project into the future what it is you'd love to create in that way. You know, if you've got a vision of, I'd love to travel here, or I'd love to, you know, create this in my future. Maybe it's a different house. Maybe it's a different job opportunity or career opportunity or something like that. You know, just to feel free, have a play with it. You know, you've got nothing to lose, only a bit of like experimentation time, and record yourself saying, I'm so grateful today that I've had the opportunity to do this. And, you know, this is like years of envisioning coming to fruition and this sort of thing. And just spend some time with it, spend some energy with it, because it's making you visualize, right? And it's making you kind of put that out there for what you do want to create. But just by putting it into voice, putting it into sound, actually recording it, not that you're necessarily going to share that with anybody or anybody's ever going to hear it, but you've actually put it into sound, is something different. And that's a next level, I think, of creation. Because when sound has a vibration, it's a vibration that's put into the physical and helps things to move. So things like that's where affirmations, I believe, really help shift vibrations and make things sort of manifest in that sense as well. And Facundo says, sort of kind of like what you talked about a few weeks ago, if you think it will happen. Yeah, it is about visualization. And I think this is another level of that, Facundo, as well, where if you think it and then you speak it, it can take shape even more strongly there. Fantastic. And Dave says, when the team works together and communicates well, it is successful. Definitely. Teamwork is a very, very, very valuable thing. And certainly when you're in big events, big projects and things going on, you absolutely... yes, need it. It's essential. Fantastic. All right. And so it's, again, sort of honing in on the fact that we are all creators. We have the ability to create. You know, we don't need to know how it's going to happen. We just envision the outcome. And it's really interesting, I think, and I love seeing how sometimes, you know, the universe will fill the gaps. It will join the dots. And you won't necessarily know how that's going to happen, but it will happen. And yeah, again, it's just holding the space for that to take shape, which is amazing. Love it. And yes, so next week is going to be a big week for me, as I sort of hinted to before, which is going to be normal sort of live stream. We'll have our catch up here on the Patreon stream, and then I'm going to be doing some filming as well for the Be Here Now music videos. So it's going to be a big day of filming. Very, very cool. And yes, been sorting out things like costumes and what I'm doing and all that kind of thing this week. So a bit of planning going into it. And definitely planning to do some dancing as well. So that's going to be interesting. But it's interesting as well because I do find it's really difficult. The dancing with green screen behind can be quite unforgiving at different times. So, you know, like if you've got hair flying around and that sort of stuff, and it's like, it can be quite challenging. So yeah, just planning backgrounds and things around that always to try and make it as easy on the editing side as for myself as possible because there's a lot to edit once you've got a lot of different dancers involved and that kind of thing. So yes, it's going to be a big project. They always are, but that will be basically yes, I think we're planning the actual release for mid to late July, so that's going to give me pretty much 8 weeks to edit it, and it's going to take that, believe me, when you work full time as well, and you're trying to find every spare hour to do the editing. That is how long it will definitely take. And yes, that will be very cool though. Looking forward to it. And I'm going to drop some names for you guys because you are the secret VIPs in on the inside scoop. That so far we've definitely got Kivana Black in the video. Kinetic Weapon, they have done an outstanding job already. The footage that they've given me, that was what got me to tears the other night because it was so inspiring. You know, there's a different energy. People aren't all dressing up super like cybergoth for this one because it's got a different energy to it. And yeah, it's because it's almost a bit more trance than it is industrial, this particular song. So I'm not calling it like an industrial song. It's industrial dance to go with it. And yeah, it's Kinetic Weapon. They've been in a lot of videos already, and got some new dancers with their group. They've got quite a big group. There's a couple different ones that haven't been in videos before, but they're all amazing dancers. And one of them, just the energy, couple of them really, just the energy that they're bringing to it, like literally had me in tears. I just went, wow, you know. And there's some great shots, great panning, great backgrounds, just amazing stuff to work with. So very cool, almost a bit too much to choose from. And it'll be good. There'll be some extra footage maybe for some remixes and different things that we'll end up doing as we do and show, you know. It's kind of cool. This time I can go into the project going, well, if I've got extra footage, you know, I can keep some of that aside and use it on a live stream, and we can have some little extra sort of bits and pieces there as well. So that will be really great. Yeah, and so as I mentioned as well before, the idea of doing really short tutorials, like bringing that into the live stream as well. I'm sort of looking at ways to really enhance the energy around the industrial dance as part of the live stream. So any ideas you guys have, just throw them my way because I'm all open to ideas. And yeah, really, I really like the idea of that, you know, even if it's just a 5-minute video of me sharing something else, you know, some other particular move, some particular tip around industrial dancing. I think the more that we can encourage and, you know, feed that community and that kind of thing, then the better, because obviously, like, a lot of I think a lot of people, in all honesty, like, find their way to me through industrial dance. And so what I was feeling was that, you know, people that be coming along to the live stream, they are coming in because they've found or connected probably maybe to that industrial dance tutorial first, and then they might find, you know, the other videos, they might find the music and all of that as a flow-on effect of that. So it's really important, I think, to kind of nurture that connection. And, you know, if people are really just going, wow, this is really interesting, I don't know much about it, to encourage that and to help sort of build the community that way. So it's definitely something, and again, part of the reasoning for wanting to sort of move the topic side of things over to, you know, the other channel. And so obviously making room for all of that to take place. So yeah, I mean, you know, there will always be probably the odd industrial dancer interview and things coming up as well. But some, you know, they're sort of more inspired and more proactive when it comes to actually making a dance video than they are to doing an interview. So you got to be patient and understand that, you know, especially when English may not be the first language, they're probably not quite as like ready to jump into that one. So that's okay. You know, I've got other people that will probably end up contributing in that side of things, but that may be a little way off as well, so that's fine. And Alexi says, Brioni, I wish your preparation and creation of industrial clip will be the way you planned. Thank you, Alexi. Make it easy for you to realize all your ideas. Lovely. Beautiful. Thank you. And Dave says, yes, that's true for you. So document authored by BF, recorded by BF, produced by BF. That is pretty much true, Dave. Yes, maybe we could use a Brioni Faith documentary on this video project. That's a good idea, Facundo. I'm actually thinking that with the editing, I would love to just kind of maybe film some of the editing going on. I have to kind of suss out how to do that and capture the screen and that kind of thing. But I would love to share some video editing tips for industrial dancers as well, because, you know, there's plenty that would love to make their own videos. I've learned kind of the slow hard way, of like a lot of tips along the way of how to get different effects and the best way to do that. So I would love to share that stuff for sure. So I think, it'd be great to factor in some of that stuff while I'm doing it, and to just sort of share a bit of insight on the editing as well. Thank you. Good reminder on that one. Definitely a really good idea. And I think there have to be a bit of behind the scenes footage for when I'm filming and that kind of stuff as well. A lot of the dancers, they sort of like put the video together and they go, oh, I forgot to do some behind the scenes. It's like, okay, that's cool. A few have little bits and pieces, but not a huge amount. So it'd be cool to have a bit more behind the scenes as well, I think, before, you know, the final production and all of that. Yes, excellent. I do like that idea as well. And creating even more behind the scenes sort of material. So Facundo says, yes, fill us in on how it's done, all the hard work and coordination. Yeah. And I think just subtle things like, you know, putting like the beat through and being able to actually, because, I mean, bless their hearts, right? Like a lot of industrial dance videos, as you might have seen, are not in time. And it's quite a frustrating thing, you know. People just, you know, they may not have the eye for it or the ear for it. I'm not too sure. But, you know, when you've got somebody dancing at a 4/4 beat and they're just out of time with the music, and you know that if it was in, it would just be so much better and it would look so much better. Like, I'd love to really share just how, you know, putting like, okay, play the track now, putting markers in and hit the key on the beat. And it's just literally pressing M in the software editing program that I use, Final Cut Pro. You know, it's M, 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 M as you're going along. And you've got little markers on your timeline here. So that's your beats, right? And then it's like, okay, so bang, there's their move there. Bang. All right, so when they're doing that, line that up, put a marker on that, then nudge that to the beat, and you'll get them. Oh, look, you know, they're perfectly in time now to the music. It's like, oh, that would be life-changing, I think, for the quality of industrial videos, for whoever might get to see it. I think that would be a really cool thing to not only probably share, I'm just thinking thoughts along, you know, while we're brainstorming over here. I love it. I'm thinking that would be really great to share, not only as a feature on a live stream, but actually like as a video, and just to post that and say creator tips for editing, live stream, not live stream, industrial dance videos, and actually create. What do you guys think about that? Yes. And yes. It's funny, Dave, you mentioned about the authored by me, blah, 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 and, all the video credits. YouTube does actually have video credits now. And funnily enough, it only just got added to my channel. It was something that I've seen other people been able to do, and I contacted them and said, how come I can't actually add video credits? I see this is a thing that a lot of people can do. Surely I should be able to do this. And they said, oh yeah, just do this, scroll down and you see video credits. It's like, yeah, it's not there. It's not actually a button that I can use. And now finally, just in the last few days, it's appeared. They've made it work, so I can actually go in there and go such and such Brioni Faith, such and such Brioni Faith. But also I can actually go get on down records, yay, and let my label get some acknowledgement through the video clips as well. So that's pretty cool. Yes, so video credits are a thing. They are there, and it's actually a really good way to feature the dancers. If I can link their YouTube channels somehow in that will take some time, but very cool way to actually acknowledge them. Yes, and very, very cool. All right, so yeah, basically that's going to be my next week coming up. Let me know what you guys are up to in the next week. But it's going to be a lot of editing, a lot of compiling, costume planning, storyboarding, and definitely, yes, putting together a little bits and pieces for the next live stream, as we always do. And as I mentioned, there was that video that has been sent to me of a little girl learning to industrial dance. So I love that. I love that. I would love to see that. I think I'm going to need to, encourage more of that. I would love to. I mean, how cool to share that on a live stream or something like that. It would be awesome. So definitely, Indies, Ralph, if you're listening here still, if your kids want to get involved and do something, I'd love to share them on the live stream. How cool would that be? So yes, and a big special shout out to Connor and Johanna as well from me to you guys. And Ralph, you can show them this little segment right here in the live stream, so I can say a special shout out to Ralph's kids over there. Big love to you guys, and thank you for supporting the music and learning the dance and sharing the love. Love it. So awesome, you guys. Made my day when I got that message that Connor was so touched by my little letter with the album coming out there. Awesome. Excellent. And Dave, cool suggestion over here. Try doing photography of dancing live. Being a past dancer myself, I constantly counting 8s while watching, or 6 depending on the music piece. I'm not too sure if I'm getting the full meaning of that actually. Try doing photography of dancing live. Being past dancer myself, constantly counting at 8s while watching. Yeah, okay. Yes, okay. So yeah, it's that sort of internal metronome kind of going and keeping the counts of 8 there. Fantastic. And Lotha says, I've subscribed to 20 industrial dancers from all over the world. Just amazing. Really like to comment on their productions. Get YouTube noticed nearly every day. Fantastic. Oh, yes. Good one, Dave. Yes, exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's exactly right. I tend to do it in 4s, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on. And I find that also works really well if the dancer sort of gets slightly out of time. You can kind of either cut at whatever beat it is, and if something's moved, you can actually just stretch it or slow it down, speed it up, whatever you need to do. But that's how I tend to work with, like I would take, say, Need to Change or something like that, and it was, I think, 140 BPM for the original, and then setting it to like Manu 40's remix, which is 150, and then so you've got the beats ding 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 ding, the markers on the timeline. You can stretch it and move it in faster, line up those markers with the actual beats there, and then you can find where those points are. So interesting. Or you can play the percentages game and go, what's the percentage difference, but that's sort of getting a bit sometimes I work it out and go the difference between 140 150 BPM, and then so it's like, okay, you're speeding it up to about 106%. Oh my goodness, it's getting technical when you're getting into that level. So I like the visual lining up is a little bit better, but still, because sometimes you work it out mathematically and then watch what they're doing, it's like it doesn't seem to have quite worked. But anyway, visual is always best. Need to change the videos by editing. Exactly. Haha. Very good, Dave. Love it. All right. So yes, going to be some sneak peeks going on over here. Of course, more so at the Patreon side of life than the other side, because we all love to keep you guys in the know and the inside scoop, always front and foremost. And definitely, yes, look forward to sharing more on this side with all of that. And thank you guys for all your amazing support with the new channel opening up, to those of you who've already subscribed over there. And so I think the first lot of content that's going to go up there is going to be like taken from past live streams where the topics were really long and that kind of thing. It's a way to sort of take advantage of those and post that up on this other channel, but I'll give it like an introduction and sort of a sign off thing at the end as well. So I'm going to record like a, hey guys, this is taken from a live stream. The topic today is we're talking about this, and this is all coming up on Change Your Life. So then we have Change Your Life intro and all of that with the graphic, and then so it's changing over the graphic here to being Change Your Life one for those particular streams, and the video recording of those streams and posting it up that way. So I'm going to be editing out sort of bits, if it were, where I tangent and go away and go, oh, thanks for the super chat, somebody, and then come back, sort of edit that stuff out so it's nice and flowing and that kind of thing. But yes, there's going to be some long videos up there, but I thought, what a lovely way to kind of make use of the topics that are there. It's sort of like, then I can actually post those topics as what they are and make it easier for people to find that content, rather than making it part of a live stream. Then people have to sort of navigate through and find it and that kind of thing. So yeah, I really like that idea, and obviously we'll open up to new content as it goes along. And yes, we've got some new sort of features and different things coming up as well, like I sort of hinted at before. Some amazing like music through chakra tones, and where I've actually talked and got affirmations and some really sort of soothing speaking going through it all and that kind of thing. So it's really a lovely platform to put that sort of content to as well. So looking forward to that. There's lots and lots of things kind of opening up, and I can see lots of potential topics and other things that I'd love to go into on that channel, which is great. And love to sound things out with you guys here as well, different topics or things that you might think would be really, really great. And I think Dave's and Alexia both suggested other ones as well, things like criticism or dealing with negative feedback and that kind of thing. Like I've hinted on that in certain parts, but it would be great to really, spend some time on those particular topics. And so I think it might be cool, like if I'm talking, and also I just wanted to sort of sound out with you guys, like say if we do talk about a particular topic here, and I'd love to potentially, if it all flows smoothly and beautifully, which sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, let's be honest, then I'd love to probably take some snippets or parts of our conversation in here. Obviously it's not going to be with the live chat because it's just a recorded video, but to take parts of this and use it on that channel. So if you guys are happy for me to do that, that could be a really cool way of opening up different topics, different conversations, and that kind of thing. So it may be, just grabbing a little bit of content from here and then adding to it after the fact as well, and that sort of thing. So let me know if you guys think that's a good idea, or it's something that should be a separate thing. I'm all happy for that. It's not the sort of thing where I'm going to be talking about a subject and then go, oh hey, Dave, remember to do what we were talking about there. I would cut those sorts of bits out because it would just sort of isn't going to flow as far as a video goes and that kind of thing. Excellent. And Alexi says, beautiful graphics for Change Your Life. Thank you, Alexi. I'm going to scroll up and let's have a little, where is it? Over here. That particular one. Yay. Change Your Life. Yes, I've got a bit of binary code going in the background over there. Very cool. And yes, been playing with some graphics and with the channel graphics and that sort of thing there as well. And very cool. All right, don't know if that changed the music or not, but it might have. Very good. Excellent. Thanks, Dave, for the thumbs up. All good. All right, you guys, well, I'm going to wrap up for today. Thank you so much for being here as you are, and big love to all of you guys, and love connecting with you here every week. And it's a really nice personal catch up. I love getting you guys feedback and taking on different ideas and that. I'll look up that slack.com. Nice one, Dave. Thank you for that. And okay, music was the same. I thought it might have been. I was like, the way it was hooked up there. Excellent. Seamless. Look at that. On the fly changes and it's seamless. Very good. All right, you guys. So big love to all of you, and I look forward to catching up with you next week. And stay tuned. There should be some other things popping up on the Patreon feed during the week is my intention. Setting those intentions. Very, very good. And yes, big love to all of you and your families, and happy Mother's Day to wives and loved ones and all that kind of thing as well. So beautiful. Always great to share with you too, Facundo and Dave, Ralph and Alexi, and all of you other beautiful patrons who aren't here at the moment. Big love to all of you as well. So thank you again for all your support. You guys mean the world to me. You're like my family. You're in a circle. Mwah. Love you. All right. And I look forward to seeing you real soon. So bye for now. Have an amazing week, and I will see you soon. A bientôt.